Aloha, everybody, and welcome to my first podcast. I'm super excited and stoked that you're here, that you're listening, that you took time to tune in. Oh my God. Mahalo from the bottom of my heart. So this is Every Damn Day with Whitt. I am Whitt, and let's get straight to this shit. So, episode 1. Now, here's the thing. I was thinking about doing a little introduction, talk about myself a little bit, give you guys a little bit of in-depth, look in my life, blah, 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 blah. But I decided not to do that because I feel like if you're listening in, you're probably one of my followers on Instagram. You're probably somebody that I train or is my family member, someone I work with, someone who knows me already. And if you don't know me, hey, thanks for dropping in and listening. You can find more about me on Instagram. I only have one social media outlet. I know I don't do the TikTok. I don't do the Twitters. I don't do all that shit. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's all lowercase, the original _ fit mama. That's me. But yeah, I decided not to do that for episode 1. Episode 1, what are we going to talk about? So a topic that comes through in conversation quite frequently with the women that I train, comes into conversation with some of the guys I work with at the gym, comes into conversation in my DMs. I don't know. I see it. I hear it. It comes up all the time. Womanhood, reality check about it, and what it means to be a bad bitch. That's Every Damn Day with Whitt. Let's get straight to this shit. Let's do it. So this term, bad bitch. Now, look, I have my own opinions on it, but before I get into that, I wanted to do a little bit of research to find how the broader community defines bad bitch. So I Googled it, of course, right? I Googled it, and Google brought me to the Urban Dictionary. Now, the Urban Dictionary defines bad bitch as a very, very, very badass female. I kid you not. That was the first definition in the Urban Dictionary. I wasn't happy with it. So I scrolled down a little bit more. The second definition just said you, Y-O-U, as to assume that the person reading it is a bad bitch. Why, thank you. I took it. Cool. Scroll down a little bit more. Number 3 defined a bad bitch as a very confident female who carries herself a certain way. I like that. That one worked for me. But I wanted to think about that definition a little bit more. Now, a very confident female that carries herself a certain way. How is the broader communities defining confidence? How is confidence defined? Like, when we say, oh, she's confident by just looking at her, what does that mean? I mean, most of the time when we call in a girl bad bitch, we call in a female a bad bitch. And now before I hear some of y'all be like, oh, you're throwing around the B word, that's derogatory term for a female. Look, bitches, how many of y'all call your friends, oh, what's up, bitch? Oh, that's my bitch, or blah, 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 blah. So I don't want to hear it from none of y'all, okay? If you don't like me calling a bitch, and I mean that in the most loving way possible, then turn the damn podcast off. But if you cool with it, let's keep going. So, in the era of the IG models, with every picture being posed, every picture being perfect, every picture showing some lifestyle, somewhere gone, something done, something bought, something doing that is extremely propped and posed and made to be perfection, this idea of a bad bitch becomes misleading and almost toxic, to be 100% honest with you. I work in a line where, my career is I work with aesthetics. I work with a woman's body. I have women who come to me, and I'm going to be 100% honest with you. And this is not knocking any of the women that I work with. I love all of y'all. Y'all are great. But I've had so many women come to me, and the number one, the most sought out body part that they want to work on is their ass, is their butt. I want a bigger butt. I want a rounder butt. I want a plumper butt. And that's cool. Like, I'm about it. Hey, I like my ass being round too. Let's do it. But, and I never knock them for it. I'm always like, hey girl, I got you. We can work on that. But as I get to know them more and as we delve deeper into our training, my goal is for them to understand that having this butt is great, and it may look great in your jeans. That's cool. In a bikini when you're at the beach, that's awesome. But there is a purpose to your glutes. There's a reason why you work in your ass. There's so much power that comes from your posterior that having a cute butt is great, but being able to like make sure you can carry shit and you can lift shit off the ground and you can like walk up a flight of stairs while still carrying your kid and groceries is more important. And that gets me back to the lacking of sustenance in this term, bad bitch. Now, that third term, that third definition from the Urban Dictionary, like I said, stuck with me. Confidence. That was the word that really stood out. Now, confidence is defined by all of us so differently, and there's nothing wrong with that. Confidence is going to look different to me than it does to you, and that's great. That's beautiful. That's important. But I think it's also equally important to understand that when we're using the word confident, how are we making sure that there's something of real sustenance behind it? That we're not calling another woman, or we're not proclaiming ourselves as confident women or bad bitches just by what we drive or where we eat out, how much our tab costs at the bar, or what brand of phone we're rocking and how expensive our purses are. Like that is not a real way to define who we are as women, because let's do a test here. If you strip all those things away, if you strip all of these exteriors and false little crutches away, then what are you left with? What do you as a person have? What are you left with that you can say you're truly confident about? Are you proud of the work you do in your household? If you're a mom, if you're not a mom and you have a spouse and you're married, are you proud of how you hold your household down? If you're a single woman, are you proud of just the work that you do on yourself, either mentally, physically, emotionally? Are you proud of the job that you go to, the career path that you're on, and how you perform there? Are you proud about how you perform when you're in the gym? Are you proud of these things? Are you proud about how you treat people? Are you proud about how you treat yourself? Are you proud about the things you put in your body? Are you proud about how you deal with, stress? Are you proud and do you feel confident in how you feel about your place on this planet? Like, those are real defining characteristics that bad bitch isn't popularly defined by, but they should be, shouldn't they? I mean, why don't we define a bad bitch by a woman who does treat other people nicely? That, yeah, she may look good, and yeah, maybe she has a fat ass and she has a nice car, but what did she do to get there? Like, did she bust her ass and save her money and put herself through college while still maintaining her self-care, while still holding down a family, while still not making excuses because she has a family that she can't do those things? Like, that's the backstory. That's the sustenance that we lack when we throw this term around. And I think it also is due into part that we surround ourselves by people who give us false praises. And we surround ourselves with people who are also okay with doing the bare minimum and being mediocre. Like the worst one for me, and like I'm not trying to bash on anybody, but for the fidelity of the word confidence and wanting to really define the term bad bitch, or I should say redefine the term bad bitch, we've got to look at the places and the parts of ourselves that we're lying to ourselves about, that we're really not giving ourselves our 100% honest truth about how we're performing. It's so often, I'm a mom of 3, and I train primarily women. And it's so often that I see on social media, and this is not in particular to the women that I train, because honestly, they're all fucking badass. But that definition of badass has been defined by actual sustenance behind it. But getting back to that, like, there's so many times that I hear and I see women using motherhood as an excuse or as a crutch or as a reason why they can't do something. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It fucking pisses me off because I'm a mom. I've got 3 kids. I was a single mom with 1 kid for 7 years. I had my son, my first son, when I was 18 years old. I was actually pregnant in high school, my senior year of high school. Nobody knew because it was like my last few months of high school. I was pregnant. I had a scholarship to go to school at HPU in Oahu, and I had a choice between my child or, going to school essentially. And I decided to have my child, and I went to UH Hilo instead. And I was a single mom. I went to school, put myself through school. I held 2 jobs, took care of my kid. I didn't do it alone. Obviously, I had great, grandparents that helped me. But at the end of the day, that wasn't an excuse. It couldn't be an excuse. And, at 18 years old, I did have this feeling of like, oh my God, this is going to be so hard. And, how am I going to go through school? Damn it. I just had a scholarship, to go study marine biology at frickin' HPU. This is what I wanted. And I was lucky. I was extremely lucky that I had my great grandmother who literally sat my ass down and told me, look, you're going to have a baby. You're not going to use this baby as an excuse. You're going to do what you need to do. You're going to handle your business, and you're going to handle it like a woman, because that's what real women do. They handle their business. And if you decide to have a child, if you laid your butt down in that bed and you did the dirty with that man, and now you're going to keep this baby, you better be able to raise this baby, not make excuses why you can't raise this baby, and keep on going. Accomplish those damn goals and make it happen. And don't use this kid as an excuse, because children are not an excuse. Biggest wake-up call of my entire life. That pep talk right there set the tone for the rest of my adult life. And I'm so grateful I had that, because I didn't have someone telling me, oh, it's okay, feel sorry for yourself. Having a child is hard, and if you wake up tomorrow and you can't do it, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Try the next day. And look, everybody's situation is different, and I'm not saying or downing anybody who has rough days from day to day that maybe can't wake up and perform at their peak for whatever given day of the week. That's fine. However, making excuses, especially when it comes down to motherhood and using your children as an excuse, is bullshit, ladies. Let's reality check that right there for womanhood. Being a bad bitch is not waking up in the morning deciding, oh my God, my kids are driving me crazy. My house is a mess. I've got dishes in the sink. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to put my hair up in a bun. We're going to go to Starbucks. I'm going to grab myself a fucking Frappuccino, and it's good. I ain't going to do shit today because I just can't do it. I can't do it, but it's fine. I'll do it tomorrow. It's fine. All good. What? What is that? What does that fucking mean? The dishes are still going to be there tomorrow. Your kids are still going to be crazy tomorrow. You're still going to have all the same fucking problems you had today tomorrow. So why not tackle that shit today? That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying, ladies. Having this false, misleading idea of confidence just because you can't, or you're choosing not to handle something, but you're slapping on a face of makeup, or you're slapping on a new purse, or you're slapping on, a trip to wherever, or you're going to, sit by the pool and sip your pina colada, or you're going to pose in the mirror and think you're cute for the moment, even though behind all of that, you still have this a slew of shit you're not dealing with, that you're not handling, that you're not taking care of, does not make you a bad bitch just because you look good. Like, that is some false shit, and I'm tired of it. It's toxic, it's ugly, it's gross, and it's not okay. That's not what womanhood should be about. And it's not me bashing you, and it's not me looking at you and saying, oh my God, you're so fucking weak, you need to do this shit better. No, it's me telling y'all, fellow chicks, like, you're stronger than that. Are you telling me that womanhood is defined by, like, a frappuccino, what you're driving, your inability to fucking deal with the day, so you're just gonna be cute and that's it? Are you telling me womanhood is defined by us judging ourselves against another woman and calling this chick a bad bitch because she looks good in a string bikini? Like, is that what we're saying? Because a posed little square on a timeline is showing you what somebody looks like, and now you're putting yourself down because this chick looks good and we don't know her backstory, but we're gonna false praise her in our mind and put her on a fucking pedestal that doesn't even exist, all because she looks good? Because she has a lifestyle you think you want? And then because those things don't come from any real form of concrete places, real places and characteristics and emotions that actually form a person and create a person's real existence, we get this weird, like, funky sisterhood that becomes based on all of these external things that aren't real. And then there's this, like, little bit of envy that women acquire with another woman, where it becomes a competition, and not like a friendly competition to where, like, okay, you know what? My best friend, she just leveled up in her job. She just increased her, she went up a tax bracket. She's kicking ass in the gym. She's a damn good mom. Like, she's a good person. She cares about the environment. Like, she's just an all around badass, and she makes me want to be a badass. So I'm going to level up. That's like a healthy level of, and I wouldn't even call that a competition. That's just a good influence of a friend. Like, that's good shit right there. But when that envy comes in based on superficial things, like what kind of purse you have, and how fat your ass is, or what your boyfriend buys you for your birthday this year, like it becomes just like this funky level of fake between women. And I've seen that firsthand. I mean, come on, like, let's be real here, ladies. Like, I can say that even the best of us have experienced that with another female, and it creates a problem. It creates a conflict with another female that's unnecessary. Like, it's a waste of thought. It's a waste of space. It's a waste of energy that happens all too often within the female communities, and it's the norm. It's something that we're just all so used to that it's whatever, even within groups of friends. I mean, you can have friends that have been friends for years, but there's still this funky level of, like, oh, guess what so-and-so, went this year for their family vacation. Like, instead of being like, oh, I'm happy for them. Like, there's just this weird toxic envy that happens between females that's completely unnecessary, and a lot of it is based on extremely superficial concepts. And I think for us to break these traits and for us to really understand that these things are unhealthy and then grow from them, or I should say grow out of them, we got to look at ourselves, and we got to look at our own games, and we got to be honest about them. Self-awareness is probably one of the most essential traits as women that we can have. And that's not something that develops immediately. Understanding whatever age you are, I'm deep into my 30s, and years of thinking one type of way is not going to change overnight. We're not going to just wake up one morning and be like, okay, I no longer, care about what another female is doing, what that chick over there is doing, what that bitch on IG is doing. Like, I'm good. I'm just going to stay in my own lane and just focus on my own shit and make sure that all facets of my life is good. No, like that also is another like false sense of reality there too. Like, we have to get real with ourselves. And I think a lot of that comes from making a checklist of your life and kind of just looking at the different areas of your womanhood where, you know, you can kind of put a magnifying glass on and see like, hey, you know what? My children, as a mother, I can do better at really not making them an excuse on why I'm not doing the other things in my life and upholding the other responsibilities of my life. Because number one, it's unfair to my kids for me to use them as an excuse. It's unfair to my kids for me to, you know, even say out loud. I mean, how many of you women have like said things out loud in regards to your children kind of getting in the way of you being able to do something or go somewhere or function for the day, with maybe not even realizing that you're saying certain things that like a kid shouldn't have to hear from their parent. Like, a child should never have to feel like their existence is hindering yours. Like, how is that fair? You're talking about a kid that didn't ask to be here. You created them, and now you're making them be an issue for you. And I don't know, it's just unfair. So anyways, ladies, I think the key takeaways here when we look at our womanhood and when we use these words, bad bitch, and we want to self-proclaim and we want to put these titles on other women, I think it's important for our growth, and I think it's important for our own self-awareness, and honestly for our own mental and emotional health, to really look deeper than what we're just seeing on the outside. You know, it is so easy to wake up every day and take the easy route. It is so easy to wake up every day and do things half-ass. It's so easy to wake up every day and choose to not put your best foot forward, when really all you're doing is putting yourself and your self-worth, honestly, on the back burner because you don't want to rise to the occasion. We live in a society where easy and not trying your hardest has become accepted. People who push and people who operate on high capacities and people who are willing to throw themselves out there every day and put their best foot forward and be all they can be are considered extreme, are considered too much, are considered to be just like ridiculous and obsessive. And those terms extreme and excessive and too much take a negative connotation. And that comes from, honestly, mediocre people who look at other people who have chosen to live in some form of discomfort, put themselves out there, have chosen to really stretch their capacities and learn what they're made of. And I'm not just talking physically. This does not boil down to, and if some of you are thinking, oh, is she talking about lifting weights or being in the gym because, you know, that's what I do. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just in life in general. You can stretch your capacities in all different types of facets. I mean, mentally, physically, emotionally, you name it. There's an endless possibility of what the human can do, can accomplish. But we so often see these people who choose to live in this discomfort and go off the beaten path and really push their capacities and abilities as extreme human beings, as human beings that we could never be like, because that's just too much, because that's just too crazy. Because, you know, I have kids and I got to make sure dinner's done by 5 o'clock. And, you know, oh no, I can't because I got to, you know, my nails or whatever. And those are excuses. And those are reasons that will keep you living in this false sense of reality, in a very mediocre, just senseless life that I strongly believe, and I don't know, I may be wrong. This is just my own personal beliefs and experiences that I've had with people, that there comes a point in someone's life that their entire existence gets questioned. And I don't know if that's maybe like, I guess for men, a lot of times it's called a midlife crisis. For women, it's usually somewhere in their late 20s, early 30s, where you start kind of questioning everything you've ever been taught and you've ever learned and everything you've ever believed, to kind of like either revamp, grow out of those things, level up, or stay there. And it is a choice. There is a level of choice there, and there is a moment where you have to decide on what you want to do. And I strongly believe that happens in a human's life, and it's just kind of like, I don't know if it's the universe or God or whatever you want to believe in, evolution, whatever it may be, but it's a point where the human capacity has the ability to grow and to become so much more. And it's almost screaming for us to do that. It's almost just like jumping out of our bodies to do that. But we've put so much layers of shit on ourselves through life that it's that voice, that need, that urgency is so buried under all of that shit that by the time it's that little sound has creaked to the top and we've heard it, it scares most of us. It scares most of us because it questions everything we ever believed in. It questions who we are. It makes us see like, oh, am I really that person? And most of us run from it. Most of us run back to that frappuccino and that false sense of life reality, and we're okay with it because it's comfortable, because we don't want to venture into the unknown. And hey, that's okay too. If that's where you want to be, that's fine. There is nothing wrong with that too. But for those of us who understand that our womanhood has to be defined by something more, every damn day it has to be defined by something more. Like, answer that call, answer that call. Like, I do this thing every morning. I wake up and I'm lying in bed, and before I get out of bed, and usually it's about, 4:30, 5 o'clock, sometimes 5:30, but it's usually when it's still dark out. I lie in my bed. Sometimes my kids are next to me. Sometimes my man is next to me. Sometimes I'm laying there by myself. And I lay there and I close my eyes and I say to myself, Whitney, today, did you come to bow or did you come to conquer? Did you wake up today to bow to all the bullshit, false sense of bullshit in your brain, in the world, whatever, projected on you that you project on people? Or did you come to conquer this shit, to fight through your own personal insecurities and envious toxic traits and just bullshit of the day, the things that you think you can't do through your excuses? Did you come to conquer that shit so that you can level up, so that you can show your children that there is more to life than just like skating by and being scared of your own potential? That's what I say to myself every morning. And I'll be honest with you guys, there's some mornings that I wake up and saying that, yeah, I came to conquer is a little hard. It is hard. From whatever happened the day before, whatever I'm going through in my own personal life or in my career or my own problems, sometimes having that sense of confidence, that real earned confidence that I am a bad bitch is hard. But it's not because the day before I didn't put my best foot forward. It's not because I didn't wake up the day before and tell myself, come on, Whitney, we didn't come to bow, we came to conquer. It's because, yeah, I'm throwing myself in uncomfortable situations, but I'm not turning down the challenge. I'm not here saying, I can't do it. I'm going to go buy a purse today. No, ladies. And so I'm challenging all of you to rethink some of the ways that we do things. Rethink about how we look at other women and how we project our own false sense of security, our own insecurities, our own envious traits on another woman. That's unmerited. That's not okay to do. This other woman, regardless if she's in a good place in her life, or if she's not, doesn't deserve our bullshit, and also doesn't deserve for us to give her false praises either. We need to have a better relationship with ourselves, a better reality check daily with how we're performing, what capacities we're performing at. And if honestly, we're surrounding ourselves with people who aren't uplifting us, that aren't challenging us, that aren't putting us in our fucking place. Because honestly, if you have friends who aren't telling you when you're fucking up, you probably have the wrong friends. Now, with that being said, let's end this first podcast with good, positive energy. Let's choose tomorrow to wake up, put our best foot forward, and conquer realness. Conquer realness with good, real, positive confidence. Not false, fake, insecure confidence that comes from a place of just exterior bullshit. Let's really put our best foot forward and be okay with failing as long as we're trying our best. Let's put our best foot forward and really not make excuses for the shit that we don't have. Let's go out there and earn our confidence. Let's be the bad bitches that truly earn their keep. Let's do that shit. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here with me. And thank you so much for doing this shit every damn day with Whitt. I'm out.